What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Amateur TV for another video on the second channel for Amateur. On this channel, I like to go through additional NBA-related discussion, especially concerning the Toronto Raptors, in videos just like this that I just do not have enough time to go through on my main channel, Amateur Sports, with over 11,000 subscribers. So we do so here on Amateur TV, where the vibes are a little bit different, a little bit less formal, a little bit more of a personal touch for myself, and you still get the great Raptors content. So if you like what you see from today's video, be sure to drop a like to drop that extra little bit of support, and you can subscribe to this channel as well. Help us on the road to 2,000 subscribers. But let's get into the topic on this one. And I know I made a main channel video about a main channel video, on Amateur Sports about Jalen Harris already today, but I wanted to clear up some of the confusion associated with Jalen Harris here, because the biggest thing about Jalen Harris is, if you didn't see that video, watch it. But if you haven't seen it, you haven't heard anyway whatsoever, Jalen Harris has been reinstated into the NBA. The former 59th overall pick in 2020 by the Toronto Raptors, who just had a year off of the NBA as a result of violating the anti-drug policy. Well, he was playing in Italy. He also just finished up his season in the CEBL with the Scarborough Shooting Stars. He's back in the NBA, and the Toronto Raptors have restricted free agency rights to bring him back to the team. So they can bring him back. And Jalen Harris was decently impressive in his first season in the NBA with the Raptors, his rookie season, especially in the G League. He's kept his game decently sharp by playing in Italy, by also playing in Canada with Scarborough, like I mentioned. And there is a good opportunity for him to maybe make the Raptors' final roster. But the problem associated with it, and this is the main portion of the video, is you have to cut somebody in order to bring him into the team here. So let's take a look here at, this is a PNG, so I can't adjust it, but this is just kind of the way I've laid it out so far. If I was really the one making the decisions here, you have to part ways with three guys. So your Exhibit 10 guy, Gabe Brown, you send him to the G League. That's fine. That's an easy one. He's not going to make the final roster. DJ Wilson is an easy cut for me based on the players available. Don't need to go too in-depth on that, even though you may have some questions. I have other videos about that, but the video is about Jalen Harris here. Juancho Hernangomez, only constraint is that he is on guaranteed money, which is still confusing to me, but the guaranteed money could lift him above somebody like Justin Champagnie. The Raptors could also decide to waive Svi Mykhailiuk, but regardless, to get Jalen Harris on the summer camp roster competing for a roster spot, one of these 20 players has to go pretty much immediately in order to bring in Jalen Harris. We have restricted free agency rights, so we have first dibs. I really doubt somebody would send it an offer sheet anyways, but somebody here would really have to go. So easy one, I guess, could be DJ Wilson. That's a possibility. But in terms of making the final roster, I don't think DJ Wilson's going to be a factor. I don't think Gabe Brown's going to be a factor. So, if you think Jalen Harris, sure, you can make room by waiving, DJ Wilson before summer camp, but why would you do that if your expectation is Jalen Harris won't beat anybody else on this list, or at least in the top 17, other than maybe the two-way guys, to actually get here? I don't think we'll lose the two-way guys. I think, we've given them the two-way deals. We're going to stick to that and keep those guys. But who are players that we could see go? So the big ones are Hernangomez and Svi Mykhailiuk, but they're both on guaranteed money. The worst player likely not on guaranteed money is Justin Champagnie, who is 21 years old. Jalen Harris is 24. And I think Justin Champagnie is pretty good. I would give him the opportunity over Jalen Harris, so I would keep him. It would come down to Svi Mykhailiuk and Juancho Hernangomez. Now, I would 100% prefer Jalen Harris over Svi Mykhailiuk, as would a lot of you, but the problem is $1.8 million guaranteed to Mykhailiuk. You'd have to really, really like Jalen Harris to make Svi Mykhailiuk play for another team while also paying him that money. So the question then becomes, well, Jalen Harris probably isn't going to be with the Raptors roster anyways. This is going to be a player playing in the G League. And this is a very distinct possibility. You bring in Jalen Harris just to play in the G League, but problem is there's probably quite a few other teams in the NBA who would also like to do that with Jalen Harris, put him on their G League team. And, this is outlined decently well here by Blake Murphy. Obviously, you could clear up a spot and put him on summer camp, or you could bring him as a late Exhibit 10 guy for the Raptors 9-5. That seems like a pretty good option, but other teams can sign him too. Yes, we do have restricted free agency rights. That is completely true, yes. But restricted free agency means that if another team sends in an offer sheet, yes, you can match that. But if another team sends in an offer sheet and we match it, well, now we have to clear up a roster spot still. We have to make the decision about the roster spot that we clear up to put him on the team. And again, if we don't think he's going to make the final roster anyway, what's really the point of doing that? Because even though like DJ Wilson is on a non-guarantee, it's a partial guarantee. So you still have to pay him the partial amount that he's owed in the meantime for the summer. And then you also have to pay Jalen Harris the money. So if another team if the Raptors don't put him on the roster, they want to put him on their G League team, that's fine. They'll just have to wait out summer camp and hope that he's still available for that spot. But there are some teams in the league who have not finalized their summer roster, and Jalen Harris coming back into the league, kept his game sharp over the course of the year, looked pretty good in his rookie season, maybe sporadically in the NBA, but had that impressive 31-point game against the Dallas Mavericks. And that isn't nothing. I know a lot of Raptors players had 30-point games that season, like Paul Watson, but even he found a job in the NBA the season after. So I wonder what he's up to. I actually don't even know what he's up to these days. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is Jalen Harris is good, and teams will offer him a spot on their summer camp roster. If they do that, then the Raptors will be handcuffed into making a very difficult decision as to what to do with the roster size and what to do with Jalen Harris. So I don't really know what the correct course of action is, because it's not easy to sign him. I know, I talked a lot about his talent and everything in the main channel video that should be out probably 45 minutes before this came out, but I don't really know the easiest way to make this happen. I wouldn't cut Champagnie for Jalen Harris. I think Champagnie's a good player, and he's 3 years younger. I wouldn't cut Delano Banton, and I don't think you would either for Jalen Harris. A lot of you would waive Svi Mykhailiuk in a heartbeat, but think about it from a business standpoint. From a team standpoint, I would absolutely love if we waived Svi Mykhailiuk. I would love it. I'm thinking it from a Raptors business standpoint. If I think that is a course of action that they would pursue. That's what I'm thinking about in this circumstance. I obviously would love to waive Svi Mykhailiuk, but I'm thinking about it from a complete business standpoint. Would they want to pay $1.8 million for Jalen Harris to maybe make the final roster? Because even then, 15 guys, so you can make 17 guys can make the team. Not including these two, the two-way guys, so I don't think will be replaced. So you've got 15 here. So not only would he have to beat Svi Mykhailiuk to get in this section over here, he would also have to beat Juancho Hernangomez, who is also on guaranteed money. So that's two guys on guaranteed money that you'd have to make room with to bring in Jalen Harris. In theory, if I'm going with I want to keep Justin Champagnie. So ultimately, if the Raptors want to pay up to make it happen, it can happen. If they don't want to pay up, it seems very unlikely that Jalen Harris will be on the Raptors next season. A little bit unfortunate, sure, but I'll kind of repeat what I said at the end of that amateur sports video. At the end of the day, it was a decision made by him to recreationally violate the anti-drug policy imposed by the NBA by a very regrettable mistake, and maybe I feel a little bit bad for him that it's kind of derailed his NBA career, but I think he's good enough that even if the Raptors don't pay up and give him a spot, that there could be another home for him in the NBA. It's a shame it isn't with the Raptors because he is a good player, but missed out probably on a very key year in his development last season. We will kind of see what happens, but you can't just sign him to the G League. That's just not really how this is going to work. I guess we didn't discuss the possibility of getting rid of Gabe Brown, but Gabe Brown was impressive on Michigan State, and he's looked pretty good in those Rico Hines video footages that we see. I know that's not really much, but he's looked pretty good there, and I think the Raptors will stick to their guns and provide him the opportunity. So we'll kind of see what happens. If I had to bet one way or another, I'd say Jalen Harris does not return to the Toronto Raptors, but it wouldn't be that surprising if he did. What do you guys think, though? Let me hear your thoughts and opinions down below on what you do with this Jalen Harris situation, how you'd handle it. And be sure to drop a like on this video to get that extra little bit of support to the channel. When you like the video, it actually sends a message to YouTube that pretty much says, you should recommend this video to more people with similar interests to me. Because if I like it, these other people might like it too. So YouTube recommends this video to more people, helps spread the word of the video, helps spread the word of the channel. And it only takes you 1 second to drop a like on the video, less than a second, but it helps me out a ton. And be sure to get more of this great Raptors content, you subscribe to this channel, Amateur TV, help us on the road to 2,000 subs. And make sure you watch my main channel videos on amateur sports, where it's a lot more professional. There's actual edits, and I cut out when I fumble my words and everything like that. Lighting's better, everything's better on amateur sports. But this is just a different vibe, a different touch, and a nice little ancillary product to the main product, which is amateur sports. So thank you again. We'll see you again next time for another video on Amateur TV.